Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. We're starting off your Thursday morning with some news here that made national headlines. The trial around Jose Ibarra in Athens is over. Because Ibarra waived his right to a trial by jury, the judge gave the final say. He found Ibarra guilty for murdering AU nursing student Laken Riley. After the verdict, Riley's family and friends walked up to the stand to address the courtroom, her mother calling for the judge to show no regard to Ibarra's fate. Riley's roommate also cried about how much guilt she's held on to since February.
I live with excruciating guilt every day that I was not accompanying Laken on this run, and that it was her and not me.
Ibarra is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That's primarily for the malice murder and kidnapping charge. The judge also gave him a sentence of 2 years in a county jail for the hindering an emergency call charge and tampering with evidence. A South Carolina mother convicted of murdering her 2 young boys will continue to serve life in prison. Susan Smith was denied parole yesterday during a hearing. She was found guilty of drowning her sons in a lake after claiming a black man carjacked her and stole them with or inside her car.
I know that what I did was horrible. And I would give anything if I could go back and change it.
She claims she was not under the influence during the crime and that she would continue seeking mental health treatment if released. Susan's ex-husband, the boy's father, spoke at that hearing, urging the board to deny her parole. Under state law, she is eligible for a parole hearing every 2 years because she spent 30 years in prison. The Wagner Fire Department is in the middle of a crisis. A 90-day notice of an ending contract with Aiken County was just handed to leaders. This comes after the recent resignation of Wagner's fire chief and 19 of his firefighters. This is the 3rd time in 4 years the fire department is finding itself in the middle of one of these crises. But now the question is if there's a fire in Wagner, who's going to respond? The decision was made to protect public health and safety. That's what officials say. People in Wagner and even surrounding towns in Aiken County are still worried because now there are fewer firefighters to respond to an emergency. Many people throughout Wagner were hesitant to talk about the issue, saying they didn't want to get involved because it involves an issue with higher up leadership. But others are encouraging people to speak up, saying not doing so could lead to even bigger issues.
There is no one in Wagner to respond, so they're going to have to respond from much further away. And minutes is very critical. I was an EMT, and I understand minutes are critical. You need to get someone to respond out for fire as well as for medical emergencies.
When the decision came down Tuesday, council members also decided neighboring fire departments would take care of coverage in the meantime. So that's New Holland, Sally, Hollow Creek, and Couchton. We're learning a man is now facing charges for a wrong-way crash earlier this year on Riverwatch Parkway. Arrest warrants say 24-year-old William Hawkins is accused of causing bodily harm to another person. We know that was a Georgia trooper. This is video of when witnesses spotted the suspected car in the eastbound lane on May 31st. The arrest warrants go on to accuse Hawkins of driving in a reckless manner with no regard for safety. The documents say he crashed head-on into Trooper First Class 1 Zachary Walker down that road. Trooper Walker had to be extradited from his car and taken to the hospital for surgery on his right leg. We've reached out to authorities again to find out when Hawkins was arrested and if there's any information about bond. Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson talking road projects. He says emergency sewer and storm drain replacement is happening on 8th Street between Green and Ellis Streets. He expects the work to be done by next Wednesday. Until then, 8th Street is down to 1 lane of traffic. Mayor Johnson also says construction's happening on Ellis Street between 7th and 8th Streets, but that's unrelated to the sewer and storm drain repairs. New this morning, 2 men are charged in a contraband drop investigation. Washington County deputies say they seized a large amount of drugs last Saturday near Davisboro, then started to investigate another suspected drop a day later near Washington State Prison. Investigators say deputies saw 2 men walking on Georgia Highway 231, and they found 4 bottles of cold and cough syrup and other contraband on them. Zayed Burrell and Tyshawn Banks face several charges, including possession of a Schedule III substance with the intent to distribute. Thanksgiving is just 1 week away, but you can enjoy a free hot meal today. The annual Feast Before the Feast event is tonight. The mass community meal will be stretched across different locations across the area. Organizer Monique Braswell says they're preparing 1,500 pounds of chicken, 600 pounds of green beans, 75 pans of mac and cheese, and more. She says last year they served more than 5,000 people, but this year she's expecting a larger turnout due to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Braswell says they're keeping children in mind as they give away those meals too.
We wanted to make sure that the children that went home during the Thanksgiving holiday, we knew for a fact they had a meal because we were providing a full course meal.
That all kicks off at 5 o'clock and it goes until 8 or until the food is gone. You can pick up your meal at Henry Brigham, McBean, Gracewood, Bernie Ward, Carrie J. Mays, and Oak Point community centers. This morning at 10 o'clock, Gallup and Associates will host a day of giving at the Julian Smith Casino and Augusta Common. Organizers say 100 turkeys will be given away at both locations while supplies last. They add it's 1 turkey per home and you need to bring an ID to get one. There's going to be 2 giveaways on Saturday. The 6th annual community turkey giveaway will be at the Carrie J. Mays Community Center. That starts at 11 a.m. and lasts until the birds are gone. Then Tolliver County deputies will host a drive-through at the Senior Center at 5 o'clock. You'll need to drive to 119 Commerce Street in Crawfordville. If you'd like to see other events scheduled, head to WRDW.com. Just go to the Check Out These Thanksgiving Events article for more information. The Aiken County School Board held the first reading for a cell phone policy it created back in September. The policy will limit student use of cell phones and other electronics while class is in session. That second reading's in December, and it's expected to go into effect when students return from winter break. The Aiken County School Board is also swearing in 2 new members. Colin Lindell will serve District 4. Liz Morris will serve District 6. Re-elected board members Cameron Newsell, John Bradley, and Deborah Tyler also sworn in. That's going to do it for the news side of things this morning. Let's send it over now to First Alert meteorologist Tim Strong for Check Out the Weather.
Got a cold one here, Nick, and everybody else. We're looking at wind values that are starting to increase a little bit more this morning. A lake wind advisory that's still in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. Gusty winds, well, they may be up to around 25 to 30 plus this afternoon. Those will definitely elevate more into the afternoon forecast here, and even into Friday, expecting strong winds between 20 and 25 miles per hour out of the west and northwest. So wind chill values, what it's feeling like outside. There are some temperatures that are feeling like the upper 30s, but with lows expected to be a lot colder tomorrow morning, more widespread 30s. We could actually feel like the 20s with the wind chill. Now, it feels like 38 now. Beautiful skyline there. Grovetown live eye camera here at I-20 at the bottom. 42 officially the temperature with winds west at 7. So, yeah, we're not seeing the strong winds yet. That will definitely change. 39 to 43 about the range of temperatures. A lot of them mainly between the lower 40s across the viewing area. So 7 to 8, maybe close to 10 mile per hour winds picking up here this morning. A lot of them continuing from the west. So it's been a brisk start, no doubt about that. Sunny skies. The planner is extremely dry, but we're well below average today and through the rest of the week. Tomorrow will be even colder with highs that barely get to the lower and mid 50s. Here's 60 for today. That's under the normal of 67. Windy, cold, morning lows. Even though we see a jump in our temperatures into the weekend, morning lows through the weekend are going to be in the mid 30s. We might even see a few near freezing. How about a 70-degree jump into Monday and Tuesday of next week with sunshine? A mix of sun and clouds coming down a little bit cooler by next Wednesday in the 60s. Have a great day, everyone.